our group's history topic is the change and continuity of national service from 1967 to the present. The history of the implementation of NS in Singapore began after Singapore decided to be an independent nation, breaking away from our neighbouring country, Malaysia. The British announced their withdrawal of troops in Singapore from July 1967 to April 1971. This meant that the British had no more control over Singapore and its defences. Hence, Defence Minister Dr. Goh Keng Swee justified the government's decision to introduce compulsory conscription of male youths of the age of 18 into NS on 17th of March 1967. NS was an ideal way to quickly establish a credible defence force and nation building in Singapore without the need to burden the country's financial and manpower resources. NS was also put in place to ensure that the responsibility of protecting the country was spread equally among the nation, since Singaporeans could no longer rely on the British to defend their country. So what were the reactions of the citizens at that time?
There were mixed feelings that came along with the implementation of NS in Singapore. Some 300 people who opposed the call-up staged street demonstrations. There were also protests by Chinese middle school students on 28 March 1967. This was because many of them thought serving the nation was a waste of time and would rather spend time furthering their studies. However, the University of Singapore Student Union and the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce showed strong support for compulsory conscription of locals into NS. All male Singapore citizens and permanent residents were then liable for NS from the age of 18. Eventually, by mid-April, more than 90% of the 9,000 young men eligible for NS had registered. Following 19 April, those who had failed to register for NS were liable to be arrested by the police for dodging the draft. Nevertheless, to help cope with NS, the government implemented new rules that were gazetted on the 15th of September 1967 to make serving national service more flexible, and due consideration was henceforth given to valid cases of NS postponement. NS soon developed into four main branches: Singapore Armed Forces, People's Defence Force, Vigilante Corps, Special Constabulary, with the majority of enlistees being posted to the SAF of Land, Singapore Army, Air, RSAF, Republic of Singapore Air Force, and Sea, RSN, Republic of Singapore Navy. Those in the PDF, Vigilante Corps, and the Special Constabulary did part-time training during their off-duty hours. This was favorable to those pursuing their studies. The PDF was under the Ministry of Interior and Defence, while the Vigilante Corps and the Special Constabulary was under the Singapore Police Force. In 1981, full-time NS was extended to the Singapore Civil Defence Force, and a pioneer batch of 94 NSFs, the Singapore Service Full-Time, was assigned to its construction brigade in October.
Over the course of 51 years of national service, many changes were introduced, namely the development of military, the uniform, weapons, and even food selections.
The uniform evolved from the plain Temasek green SAF combat uniform.
Its modern pixelated design. This design makes it more difficult for enemies to spot them in jungle ambush.
As technology advanced, the SAF upgraded its weapons from the AR-15 with iron sights to the modern SAR-21 equipped with powerful scopes. As for the food, it used to be the exact same of rice, overcooked meat, and unclean vegetable. Now it is serving a more favorable westernized menu, and food for field rations are cooked and sterilized at high temperatures to ensure hygiene. They are also light in weight, so soldiers do not have to carry a heavy load.
National service is still mostly viewed as the linchpin of the nation's identity and survival. Hence, a tight and secure defense is needed to ensure its stability and protection from external dangers.
The reservist units are called back annually for a fitness check, individual physical proficiency test, the IPPT, after their NS until the age of 40, which makes up 80% of the SAF. This makes up an army which has men from the age of 18 to 40 who are all prepared for combat in times of war. There was a significant time when danger has occurred that have tested Singapore's defense. The hijack of Singapore Airlines SQ-117 on the 16th of March 1991. Four Pakistanis from the Pakistan People's Party demanded the release of former Prime Minister of Pakistan Benazir Bhutto's husband Asif Ali Zardari, who was later elected the President of Pakistan, as well as other PPP members from jail. The hijackers also demanded the plane to be refueled to fly to Australia on the 26th of March 1991. The hijackers threatened to kill one passenger every 10 minutes if their demands were not met. This led to the Singapore Armed Forces Commando Formation storming into the plane, killing all four hijackers with no casualties on board. That day, the NS men had saved the lives of 123 people and successfully prevented a potentially deadly threat. Our current Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong had also mentioned that we have to be prepared should there be terrorist attacks on Singapore. He added on, Singapore is expecting a dispute in the near future. With our wide developed defense force with NS, we are always vigilant, as war is a matter of not if but when.
In a nutshell, national service in Singapore showed continuity by preserving the tradition of mandatory conscription of all men. NS men also plays a big role in protecting our country by being our front line of defense.